Let's we gotta get rid of this. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. Okay, gentlemen, we are up and live. So kind of the whole deal here is we're just gonna build some arrows for some squirrels, and you guys can just ask away any questions you might have. I'm all ears, right? So I've got some conversation starters here on the table. So in case we run out of things to talk about, we got that. But otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of hang out here and do my thing. Any questions you might have, just let me know, and we'll just kind of go from here. So let's see. I gotta get one of those better jig. So why don't we lower this camera? That way I'll be a little more line of sight for us. Sorry, this is only the best production, right? There we go. That's kind of better. So that should be much better. Let's type something in the chat here. Free flow stream. Put that in the chat. So yeah, just drop your comments and we'll get going. Let me know how the audio for sure when you're on here. But, definitely want how we sound. So we're just going to be refletching some arrows. So I'm gonna make some arrows like we have right there. So some like custom squirrel arrows. What's up, Redline? How you doing, man? Appreciate you joining. So we're just gonna take these wraps off and refletch them. These are Easton 5.0s, so I don't even know if they still make these actually, but we'll see. If you haven't seen yet, just dropped a new video, so that should be up and live. Squirrel hunting videos, so go check that out. And if you're on here, make sure you hit the like button. If you hit the like button, it helps other people find this, notifies other subscribers that we're live. So we appreciate all likes and comments too. So like, I don't know, is it like or thumbs up on TikTok? I don't know. We'll go with like and thumbs up. Whatever I'm supposed to say, right? These wraps are on there. We might have to scrape these off. Yeah, hunting yesterday, I guess. Yeah, yesterday was opening day for squirrel. And decent. Got 2 squirrels. So, could have been better, but could have been a lot worse too. Either, I'm sure those have eaten. There are ways to get really good, but I was kind of lazy about it. Just threw it in the crock pot. It was still fine, but like I said, it's not my absolute favorite thing, game meat in the world to eat. So, okay, we're working here. We're getting somewhere. Just gotta get this. So you can see it's got a wrap and it's been exposed to some heat. And a lot of times with these wraps, I found once they're outside, you're running around with them, they tend to the glue tends to get really sticky. It just doesn't want to ever peel off, which is good, but you don't want them to peel off when you're in the field, right? But it makes refletching somewhat of a challenge. Maybe I should have just done this before I went live. Nah, good. Well, we got the fletches on, so that's good. I apologize. I'm still learning this whole camera. So I have it's obviously streaming from a camera, but it's plugged into the computer. So look here. That's what we'll do. So Let me know how the audio is. It's showing good on my screen here. That doesn't always mean it's good, though. Thanks, man. Let's see. What happens if I press that? Nothing. I can't like my own live. I can't cheat like on TikTok. Good. You should be. Might be a little echoey because this room doesn't have any carpet in it, but it should be decent. Going with we got the camera, external camera mic, but not quite as good as a lab mic. There's still some echo in there. It's done. I was pretty shocked at that hunting news video, like Ohio hunting news. I think kind of just blew up. I was getting like a bunch of new subscribers, and that video just boom, just kind of out of nowhere. So I was watching the hunting public. So let's pause that because that is kind of throwing off my thought process here. Okay, keep going. We almost got it here. I did not realize how crazy sticky these wraps were, but the other arrow does not have any, so that's good. But as you can see, they're the Easton 6.5s. So I actually really like these arrows. They're pretty durable. There's a little, I don't know. I don't see any difference between these and the gold tips that I shoot, that I run, which are these right here. I'm going to be using these this. Oh, geez. I'm going to be using these this year. So gold tip, but they're 4-fletched with AAE veins. So got that, and then they're just the Hunter XTs and 300 spine. So I love them. I've never had an issue with these. They're fairly, I mean, they're not the most durable shaft on the planet, but they do a good job, honestly. I like them quite a bit. I am out of alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, which tends to be the best way to take off this glue. So we're just going to scrape and hope for the best. Like these are just small game arrows, so I'm not super worried about the quality of them. So it feels pretty good. So we'll just wrap these now. Let's see, what wraps are we going to use? Well, actually, we'll just use these. Forget what company made these, but he's a small business, and if I can figure it out, I will link that. Our hunting, so our deer season starts in 25 days. It starts on the 27th, which is not too far away. I'm getting real excited, so I'm kind of just buying time, making these small game, because I would like to get some squirrel with a bow and arrow. So, but yeah, just kind of killing time until the season hits, because, I've got to the point where I've done like all the scouting I really want to do, or need to do. So now it's kind of just hurry up and wait and see what happens, really. Okay, let's wrap this. That didn't turn out too bad. So there's your wrap. Pretty sweet. Just kind of a pink into a black, so it kind of looks like the wrap. October 4th, a whole week later. That's a bummer. Where are you at? I think I know, but I'm not positive, so I'm not going to say it. So you'll have to remind me where you're at. Not Pennsylvania. Ohio. Well, don't really have any colors except West Virginia. That's right. For some reason, I thought you could hunt deer in Virginia like almost year round. One of those eastern states you can hunt like almost year round. Maybe it's one of the Carolinas. I'm not sure, but I do remember hearing that from somebody once. We're not going to use these. These AAE veins, or these tack veins, you cannot use them without a primer. My primer's all the way across the room, so. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I guess you can here too, technically, like special ag permits, but besides that, not much. Oh, you know what we have to do? Because I'm going to make these 6 fletch. You know what? No, I'm going to make these 4. I'm going to make these 8. And I'm going to like stagger the veins. That's what we're going to do. And now we need some glue. Okay, just building some arrows. That one's good. Just do the old hand wipe to get rid of the excess glue. Classic move, right? Will go down as my first self-filmed hunt. Urban archery, what is that? Just like parks and like cities. I know you can do some of that here. You get like a special. You got to take a test. You have to like get a dinner plate size group at 20 yards or something. So it's nothing crazy, but you take the test and then you can hunt in like the county parks. Which would be kind of crazy if you got a deer and just had to drag it out with a bunch of moms around. Neighborhood? How does that work? Like you can just hunt in a neighborhood? You got me curious now. Because I cannot imagine that going down too well. Hunting in a neighborhood. That would be insane. I can't imagine how all the Karens and moms would feel about that. So if I'm just in a residential neighborhood, 10th of an acre lots, I could set up inside like my kitchen and just blast them from the window. Am I reading this right? Really? That's fascinating. Man, we need to do that here because we need to get that my area. Get this set up. I would be really interested to see something like that happen. Okay, I want to move this about right there. These are a little complicated once you get doing this stuff. With a bow and permission, I believe you. That's pretty crazy. You need to move this just a touch the other direction. Oh. Go right there. I think that'll work fine. Now we're just going to move it up. This is going to look wonky. You guys are going to think I'm insane, but it does work as like a flu style. It works. It really does. Believe it or not. So Okay, the camera says no space on memory card, so hopefully this works and keeps going. I shouldn't need a memory card for this, but it wanted me to press record, so not sure. Oh, I did something wrong. Oh, no, I didn't. I think we're still good. Perfect. Okay, wait. Okay. We're back. Sorry about that. Sorry for the delay. Okay. So I'm going to go up here. I'm really just messing around with this. This is kind of crazy, but hey, it can work, and I'm bored. I wonder, what is the population down there, like in southern states? Are you guys just kind of overrun? Because I know in Tennessee you can take like $2 and you can take some crazy thing. Like you have a daily limit, not a season limit, which is just mind-boggling to me up here, right? But I just know our population, so who knows what it's actually like down there. I mean, I'd imagine Tennessee's pretty loaded if that's what they do. Yeah. If you guys check out these guys, Whitetail Whispers, got sweet hats. Definitely check those out. This might work. It's gonna look funky, but it might work. I think it is gonna work actually. 2 deer a day, 6 deer a year. Okay, that makes sense. Somebody told me in Tennessee you could do 2 deer a day, and I was like, for the whole season? Like, yeah. Like, there's no way, because you just have guys blasting them to blast them. Like, you can't do 2 deer a day the whole season. So it's a $2 4 doe bag limit for the year. If that makes sense. Makes much more. Fun. This YouTube thing, whole nother ball game compared to TikTok. Way harder. You can get 1,000 followers in TikTok in a month if you try. YouTube, you got to get real lucky to get that kind of following that quick. Whew. You're gonna need to put a heavy point on the end of this with all these fletchings and all this glue. Oh, let's see. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think any sensible person would agree. So I've got a new video coming out tomorrow, answering some of those questions that everybody had left on that hunting news page. So you'll definitely want to check that out. But here you go. Here's kind of what we're looking at. Just Ben's version of a flu. So it looks cool. I know there's a couple professional archers in like Europe that use this. So I like that. So yeah, this will just be small game. So we'll put a judo point. Thanks, Redline. I appreciate it. It's like I said, I'm just kind of bored, and I wanted to do something in the live instead of just sitting here, right? But so we got a little bit of a right helical. It's kind of trippy. So a little like right helical on there, and then 8 fletched. So if you ever wanted to make these at home, if you want to do 6 fletch, you use your 3 fletch jig, right? Fletch it, rotate the knock like 45 degrees. I don't know, something like that. Rotate it. This is not a math class. Rotate it until you can line it up with like the gap, glue it in there, and then you just start all over. Click, click, click. So it's very easy. So this one still has the factory fletches on it. Funny, this arrow I lost like months ago and just found it one day, just back at the range. I was just kind of looking around, looking for another arrow probably. I can't remember, honestly. And found this one in the dirt. So we're going to repurpose it. Because before you won't know, but if you have, you will know that you lose or you miss a lot. Because you're shooting at a oftentimes moving target. And it's a very small target. So, squirrel and rabbits, it can be very tough with a bow. As everything else is. All right, so we'll get this wrap on here. I've found that mouse pads and books work the best. Soft books are the best. A mouse pad or like a pad, like kind of like what gunsmiths will use. Those are nice, but I don't have one of those at the moment. So we're just using this soft book and it. All right, let's get this on here. Sweet. Okay. So there, once again, this is a wrap. And once again, these are the Easton 6.5s. One of my favorite arrows of all time, arrow shafts of all time, except for the tried and true by me gold tips. Love the gold tips. All right, let's get a couple more fletchings. We need 5 more. 3, 2. There's 5. And we will get these back on the jig. Fletched up. Let's fletch these back. I have also learned that less is certainly more when it comes to fletching glue. You can load it up with glue, and half the time when you load it up with glue, it doesn't stick. So less is certainly more. Got a little buck on camera. So let's see if we can see that here. I had my camera set up at this one, didn't get anything. Moved it like 10 feet to the left, angled it a little better. I'm getting pictures left and right, which of course, I kind of missed the whole bedding area. Doe, obviously, of course the doe spotted me pretty quick. They know what's up. They're pretty, does are crazy. It's the kind of the intuition, the motherly instinct they have. See, and I did have a picture of a buck on here. Where's he at? Just a small buck. But I gotta find him. There he is. Just a little fella. Haven't really seen much in. That'll focus. There we go. Haven't really seen much in as far as big deer at this farm. Lots of does though. So. And there's a lot of does in that general area, so I'll probably take 2 or 3 off of that farm this year just to see what happens. Does are good to an extent, and then they just start eating all the food. So, once you're out of rut, you're kind of out of luck as far as bucks goes because they're like, well, there's no food here. It's not really any reason. Sure, it'd be nice if male humans were like that. You just worry about other things the rest of the year. Whew. Did you squirrel hunt? I guess anybody. Did anybody squirrel hunt? Or have they squirrel hunted this year? Ohio season opened up yesterday, so I spent a couple hours in the morning brought my 12 gauge because it's really rural, and I don't have anything smaller than a 12 gauge. So I was kind of in the farm I was hunting on is only about 17 acres, and there's houses around it. So I really didn't want to be throwing up a 22 bullet, just slinging it up in the air and praying it doesn't hit somebody's house or somebody. So we went with the shotgun with little 8-shot. It wasn't too bad, because I cooked it and ate it last night and then finished it today. And it wasn't bad. It was just, where I'd hit it kind of blew the leg bones apart. So that was a little bit, little crunchy. So, but otherwise it was fine. Totally fine. This will be good. I'm looking forward to going out with a bow and squirrel hunting because I don't know. I enjoy gun hunting. Like I'll do that. If I can't use a bow, I would still gun hunt, but I prefer bow. It's just more. I know it's harder, and I know people say you're a try-hard if you're like always bow hunting, but for me, it's just it's just more engaging. Well, if I can get this to turn. Oop. Let's turn this a little more this way. See how that looks. That might be just about perfect. Oh, a little too far. The thing with these Eastons is they're hard to adjust the knock on them. That is for sure. That might be good. Nope. We're getting there. We'll get there. I promise we'll get there. That should be it. There we go. That'll work. Perfect. I don't think I'm missing anything. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys don't mind, just like the live. Hit that little heart, and then if you could physically like it with the thumbs up, that's a massive help. Remember, less is more. But yeah, anybody do any squirrel hunting over the weekend? Or I guess it wasn't the weekend for me. It was Labor Day, so it was a holiday, but it was weekend. New job. I'm not new anymore, but I actually get weekends off, or holidays off, which is not something I got in the past. But I will take it. I just wish Labor Day fell in deer season, whitetail season. That would be the best, but it doesn't. One more, two more. We'll be all wrapped up here. What do you guys think about the whole EHT thing? Think it's overblown? I think it's a conspiracy. Do you think they're trying to take out the deer herd? I'm not one to judge a conspiracy theory, but I have my doubts about the EHT conspiracy theories. I mean, it all just kind of lines up perfectly for EHT. I mean, we've had a really dry summer here. So all the water sources are pretty much dried up. So all those deer are congregating in some real dirty water. with a bunch of those with just the perfect conditions for those little midges, right? So it's kind of just the perfect storm for EHT. But let me know your wildest theories. What do you think is actually going on? Hey, maybe they are trying to take the deer herd. It wouldn't be the first time the government's tried to kind of screw us like that. There's that arrow on that one. So you guys see the difference. I've done a 6 fletch before, and then I've also done the 8 fletch now. So see there, there's a difference there. These are just small, like I said, just small game arrows, so nothing crazy. They're cool to shoot because they're like, which would not be ideal for most things, but for small games, I found it doesn't matter a whole lot. Though they do have fast reflexes, that's for sure. So you have to watch out for that. Get rid of my garbage so my wife doesn't hate me. A sip of cold Dr. Pepper. Let's see what to do. Okay. I'm going to try something here and see if we can go live on both TikTok and this might not be good. We'll see. Maybe we'll be. If we do both of this from here, that would be cool. But I have my doubts. We'll see. Oh. Sorry. Bear with me here. Appreciate those who are sticking around. That's really cool. Doesn't. Oh, okay. Let's see what it is. Okay. You encouraged me to create and share content. Okay. Now we have to just change the cameras. Image. No, that's not it. Let's see. Oh, we can just go like that. Probably. Let's see. Might not let us. Bear with me. This is kind of brutal. Uh-oh. Let's try this. Let's start this over and see what happens. Sorry, I left all of you hanging. I left all my YouTube friends hanging. Let's see. I know there's got to be a way to do this, but I probably need to connect it to software. That's kind of what we're here for. My wife is asking me to send her a picture of deer and squirrel. All her friends at work think it's crazy that I hunt. Like, your husband hunts? What in the world? It's like, yeah. And she didn't grow up with it, so she still thinks it's kind of interesting too, which is funny. Funny, but good. Good. We want her to be interested in our hobbies. We're not, so we might not be able to do this. So, because this camera is not. We'll just give it a second and see if it picks it up. It's probably not going to pick it up. And let's see what the wife wants. So, yeah, my wife didn't grow up hunting. Now, I didn't really grow up hunting either, actually, believe it or not. But I always had friends, and I had a couple uncles or cousins who hunted that kept me kind of interested in the topic. or in the sport. So it's always been around. You know, I've always liked watching meat eaters, Steve Ranella, things like that. I just never